Alright guys, quick notes. There is a B patch coming up for patch 11.13. Very minor patch, not too much to talk about, but we'll just quickly go through it. The main thing is Hellion didn't get enough of a buff to be, like, viable, to be something good, especially in the early game. So they decided to push it a little more over the top, and this probably will hit the mark, I suspect. So the main changes to Hellion, first, it's getting a 5% attack speed boost across the board. I think this buff to Hellion 3 is actually fairly relevant. Um, I don't think that's the big buff, but this is a pretty notable one, I think. Kled, 5 AD, who cares? Probably the big one here is Poppy. So Poppy is going from 30 starting mana to 50 starting mana. Poppy's going to ult. Poppy's going to ult. And because Poppy ults, Poppy's going to get a shield. And because Poppy gets a shield, Poppy's going to be hard to kill. This is a pretty big buff to Poppy, to be honest. Poppy's like probably the weakest champion in the game. I think there was some thought that with the last buff we could go back to Candyland, and that was never going to happen. But this is a good buff to Poppy and should make Poppy a lot better in the earlier game. Because Poppy, like, if you have two knights and one of them's Poppy and you find a 2-cost knight, you just drop Poppy and put in a 2-cost knight because they're both better. I don't know what else to say. There's almost no reason to run Poppy unless you're running Hellion. Same thing with Kled, really. There's no reason to run Kled unless you're running Hellion. Others, Redeemed is getting a across-the-board nerf to AP, Armor, and MR. Yeah, Redeemed was one of the better comps this patch. It just kind of was, and it wasn't like a specific champion that was blowing it up. It was just the composition overall was blowing it up. So hopefully these bring it a little further down. It's still probably going to be the best comp, but this should bring it a little more in line with the other comps that have been going around. Kennen attack speed boost, it's so minor, I don't think it means much. The other kind of notable nerf is this Lux nerf. So Lux was doing a lot of work. I've seen some videos of Lux just putting so much shielding on your entire comp and getting so much value, mostly because this 70 mana is pretty low. So they're nerfing it so it goes up to 80 mana, fair. Probably not even going to notice, but it's over a long combat, it will make a pretty significant impact. And this set in particular, it has a lot of long combats. It's not like previous sets where you kind of just blow through a comp. Like, I think there is a running theme that the longer the game goes, the shorter the actual combat phases go. This set's like kind of the opposite. The early combats just get crushed, while the later combats just take forever. And Lux is kind of a component of that in this particular set. So they're nerfing the total mana, good change, and they're also nerfing the shield across all levels. Now it's pretty minor at 1, but that doesn't mean much. At 2, you get a 20 nerf. That's getting a little more meaningful. While this looks very minor, this is a pretty good nerf to Lux. It shouldn't really change how you play Lux, and it shouldn't really take her out of any comps you would normally play Lux in. But it does decrease a lot of the value that Lux gets, particularly over very long combat. Anyway, that's it for the patch. It's a B patch, so it was always going to be small and nothing over the top. Nothing's completely broken. This set Redeem's just a titch overtuned. So we'll see what comes out next patch. See y'all around. Peace.